print video. This is a section of the course that does require some initial time investment, but you only have to do a certain action once and it's going to pay off over months and years to come. This video is going to teach you exactly the type of content you should be sending to your subscribers and how often you should be sending it. Before I do that, I just want to clarify how this differs from tactics like email marketing or blogging that you may already be aware of. Email marketing is typically pushing people for the hard sell on the back of some quick freebies and value. I'm not saying that email marketing is unethical. The tactic is very effective, so people use it. With regular blogging, you're generally focused on a variety of topics at the same time. Also, new subscribers only really see your new content. They don't go back through all of your old posts. They just sign up and then they get future posts that you write, so they miss most of that great content you've already written. With email blogging and this entire cloud blueprint strategy, you utilize a targeted soft sell, so you're not writing a ton of topics, you're just focusing on one. It's a soft sell because you're not aiming to push a product in people's faces straight away. And people are going to see all of your content no matter when they subscribe to your cloud blueprint squeeze page. No matter when they subscribe to that, they're going to get all of the same content as everyone else and get all of that great value you have to give away. The content you're going to be sending people is much like that of a regular blog post, but two things will change. The first change is that your emails, unlike blog posts, should have a set length. I don't recommend sending anything over 1,000 words long. The second change is that your content should be focused on a specific topic. With Vibe Chill, for example, I could write about SEO, affiliate marketing, PPC. So that is not recommended for this cloud blueprint strategy. Instead, I should be just focusing on one of those, such as SEO or PPC. The concept behind this whole thing is actually pretty complex, so I'm going to try my best to explain it in as simple a manner as possible. Do bear with me on that. And again, just a note, there are comments below if you do have any questions. The strategy I recommend that you follow is something I kind of confusingly call 5LR, 8LR, 11LR. The numbers refer to how many non-promotion emails you send before an L email, a product launch email, and an R email, which is a product follow-up email. So for example, it would be 5 normal emails, a launch email, a launch follow-up, 8 normal emails, a launch email, a launch follow-up, 11 regular emails, a launch email, a launch follow-up. And since LR emails apply to making money, I will be covering them in the next video. In this video, I just want to look at your regular non-promotion emails. To begin, I'm going to quickly show you how to send follow-up emails in Aweber. And after that, I'm going to give you a full content outline to follow in your industry. So here I am back on aweber.com. Just going to log into my account quickly. And on the back end here, just one of those sample lists we created in a previous video. I've clicked on the messages tab here, and you can see I got that first follow-up. I'm instantly giving people a free video on gardening. So once you've done this, once you have that auto follow-up, whatever it is that you're sending people, whether it's a ebook, video, PDF, whatever it could be, once you send that to them, you want to start sending them your normal emails. So in order to send those emails, what you want to do is you want to click create new follow-up message, and that will load here. And you will see a page like this, and you will write all of your content in this page, whatever it is that you decide to write about. And scrolling down to the bottom here, you can decide how long after the first email you want that email to go out. So later on in the course, if I tell you need to send these emails 3 days apart, you'll enter 3 every time you add a new follow-up email. And in the product video next, I will be telling you that you need to send some emails on specific days and specific times. So note at the bottom here, you just click on that checkbox and you can select which days and times emails will go out no matter when people subscribe to your list. This is very simple. Just create a new follow-up, scroll down to the bottom, and you can change all of those settings, click save message, and you're done. Now that you know how to add future messages to your email list, it's time to come up with content ideas for you to write about. Remember, the key here is to stick to one main topic. Further down the line, you can expand on what you talk about. I'm now going to take you through some of my favorite resources for generating content ideas. The first resource I have to share is delicious.com. This was recently resold after Yahoo pitched it a long time ago. And basically it allows you to bookmark your favorite links on the web, and they go into this big database on this website, and you can see links that a lot of people have bookmarked, and you can generally find great content because of that. What this means is that it's also great for finding content ideas that people like to read about. So if certain links are getting saved a lot in a certain industry, then you know people enjoy that topic. So for example, I'm just going to enter surfing into the search box here. Already put that in for you. And I can see the most popular websites and links that have been saved on the topic of surfing. So some popular ones: Couchsurfing, Surfline.com, Surfermag. If we can scroll down just to see if we can get any good content ideas. Okay, so here's one that has 173 saves. So the good example here could be, if you are in the surfing niche, you could go out, you could talk about a day you spent with a famous surfer, show photos of a certain surfer in action. People really care about that topic in the surfing niche. Another popular one here is a guide on how to build your first surfboard. That might be something you could talk about. Or people clearly enjoyed this HD slow-mo video of surfing. So if you do have a certain surfing niche, they clearly enjoy videos on that topic, how-tos like DIY regarding the topic and other things like that. Then you get a lot of examples just from Delicious itself, no matter what industry you're operating in. My next recommendation is to use the popular posts on blogs. So if we just, in the internet marketing niche for example, we can scroll down here, and on the sidebar we can see the most popular posts on this blog. Because these posts are popular, you know this kind of content is probably going to be well received by our Cloud Blueprint audience, our squeeze page audience. So I can apply some of these to let's say golf as a niche that way. So I could say, instead of how to increase your blog subscription rate by 254%, it could be how to hit the golf ball 254% further. Or do you make these 7 mistakes when you write? So do you make these 7 beginner golfing mistakes? Things like that. You can look at these popular ideas, and there's another section here on quicksprout.com on the sidebar. And there's just lots of topic ideas you can get from these, where you can just simply reword whatever the title is, think about how you can apply that to your niche, and then send that out to your audience. Very simple, but it can give you a lot of ideas. So I'm on the Google keyword tool now. I will send you, there's a link to that underneath this video. And I picked a very obscure niche just to show you that you can really come up with easy content ideas for any industry. I just typed in stamp collecting in the search box here and changed that to exact, and I can see how many people are searching for what terms in Google, how many times every single month. So I can see how much our stamps gets 14,000 searches a month. We can see what people who are clearly interested in stamps really want to talk about. 2 that stood out to me here were stamp collecting supplies, so you could talk about the best products to use in regards to stamp collecting. And you could also include stamp collecting values, so you could talk about some of the most profitable stamp sales ever, or the average value of people's stamp collections, that kind of thing. It's clearly an interest to people who care about stamp collecting. So put your own industry in this keyword tool, whatever it may be, and you're going to get ideas for what people care about in your industry. Final thing I want to look at is Yahoo Answers. This is answers.yahoo.com. This works really well because you can see what people are asking questions about. So if people are asking popular questions about something related to your industry, you can tell it's a topic that they would probably like to read about, whether they know it or not. So just an example search term, I put in stocks in here again, just another random example for you guys to show you that you can come up with content ideas in any industry very easily with these resources. So we can see some questions here. What stocks are good to invest in at this time? Maybe an obvious thing to cover, but that is something you could send out to your list. What penny stock should I invest in? If this is something you know about, you could send that ideas on that to people. And you can also click on the most answers tab here. That will give you results that are from a long time ago, so 2, 5, 4 years. So they may not be as relevant, but you can find the most popular questions and discussion topics in your chosen industry by clicking on this most answers tab. So scrolling down here, I could see 5 years ago one of the most popular questions was, should I buy Yahoo or Google stock? What you could do is you could do a time lapse, so you could say, this is what I would have said 5 years ago, this is how the result is now, and look at how all these other people answered. Where would their money been best placed 5 years ago? Is it a good time to buy all energy stocks? If you have knowledge on that topic, you could talk about the best times to do that and that kind of thing. So use these 4 resources: Delicious, the popular post sections on top blogs in your industry, Google Keyword Research Tool, Yahoo Answers. You will come up with a ton of topic ideas. So I'm just not gonna leave you guys with that. I could come up with some sample content ideas in the weight loss niche, and they could be the best books on the topic of dieting, in my opinion, the most popular Hollywood diets that people are going on at the moment and which celebrities are following them, simple exercise routines that anybody can do in their home, and even interviews with people who have had dramatic results with weight loss. It might take you some time to think about it, but you can literally come up with hundreds of email ideas for whatever industry you're operating in. And once you have those ideas, you just need to format them. Now that we've looked at the content ideas, I want to highlight the key elements of your emails that you need to focus on. The first key element is your headline. By far more than anything else, this is the most crucial aspect to your email, so take your time with this. The headline decides whether people open your content or not, and you really want them to open that content, so this is crucial. I've written a 3,000 plus word guide. Your headline, by the way, is simply the subject part of the email. For people who may not have got that. I've written a 3,000 plus word guide on how to write attractive headlines, and it can be found at vibechill.com/blog-post-headlines. After this, you need to ensure that your opening paragraph is relevant to your subject line and entices people to continue reading. You don't need to include people's names here. I really don't recommend that. And the reason I don't recommend including someone's name in your message is because friends don't use friends' names that much in emails. You'll notice if you email someone that you email it out, you're not going to really put their name in, like hey Dave or hey Sarah. It's just going to be hey, or are you just going to really get to the point in the email? You don't even need to put an intro when you have friends. So that's the psychology behind that. So what you want to do is you just want to make sure that introductory paragraph is enticing. The job of your subject line is to get people to read the first paragraph. The job of your introductory section is to either get people to click a link or continue reading your email. So refer to the blog post at vibechill.com/create-viral-content and read the section on introductions. There's some good information on how you can word your emails there. A slightly technical recommendation would be to make sure your emails are no wider than 450 pixels in width. I'm going to quickly show you how to do this now. So I have that sample follow-up email that I'm sending out in Aweber, and what you want to do is you want to make sure the email isn't too wide. And the reason you want to do this is because when our eyes have to go all the way across the screen and we see so much text, it looks more than what it is. So if you keep your emails narrow, what that does is it allows people to just focus. They don't have to keep moving their eyes back and forth across the screen. They can just pretty much go straight down, and the email is going to look shorter than it is, and they're more likely to read it. So in order to get thinner, narrow emails, what you want to do is you want to click on that source tab in Aweber. You want to add some code here. So it's table width equals, I'm going to put 400px, border equals 0. You don't want a border around there. Then you're going to close that off. Then you're going to write tr td, and then at the end of your message, so I'm just going to go here, go to the next line, I'm going to close td tr table. So write this exact text at the top of your message, write this exact text right at the bottom of your message, and I'm going to go back to the design, and I can see now this text is all in a nice narrow table. So I can keep writing for as long as I want, and the text is not going to escape this box. So it keeps the message nice and narrow for you. You can tweak that. You may want it a bit wider if you don't really like it so thin, but I would personally not go more than 450 pixels, which looks like that. Okay, so nice and simple. Finally, try to keep your emails to one core message. You don't want to be talking about a certain concept of weight loss, but giving tons of different concepts that are all mixed in with each other. Try to keep your emails to one simple message, one powerful, valuable message that you're giving away to people. If you do that and keep your emails relevant, then you're on to a winner. Using the 5LR, 8LR, 11LR content strategy, you only have to write 24 email blog posts in total. With just 24 emails, you're now in a position to make a lot of money online on autopilot. That really is all you're going to have to write for this course. So there's 25 main content emails. I'm going to talk about LR in the next video. In the next video, I'm also going to order all the content for you, so you can see it from a far-out view, how this whole thing plays out, the daily schedules between each emails, and that kind of thing. So you need to come up with 24 email blog posts in total. This is the bulk of the work in regards to how Cloud Blueprint works, this content section. But then again, this is something you have to put some initial investment into, and then once you have written those messages, you're not really going to have to write them again. You just need to continue to optimize the entire process. You don't need to write any of this content ever again. So in the next video, we're going to look at how you can start making money. I'm going to summarize this whole content strategy so you can see the exact order of the messages that you're sending when they should be going out, and we're going to start making some money.